Oh, the words from the pages change your world. They can change your heart, they can change your mind, they can change your life. New Black Wall Street Book can change your world.
Well, happy Mother's Day to you all, you moms that are out there. This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, and it can absolutely change your world because it can help change the way that you think. And if you change the way that you think, then you'll begin to change the way that you speak and the way that you act. If you change the way that you act, then you'll begin to change your habits. If you change your habits, then you'll begin to change your results. And in changing your results, that is actually changing your life. This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. You put it in a book, like the Bible. You put it in a book, like Daily Motivations for African American Success by Mrs. Dennis P. Kimbro, and we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator. I'm actually an author myself. I wrote a book. It's called The Black Billionaires Club. This book that I wrote is the study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way. In my years of living on this earth, I've realized that everybody don't want to be rich. Everybody don't want to be wealthy. Everybody don't want to leave an inheritance to their children, but for those who do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. You can begin that study by picking up a $25 book that can help change the way that you think and then help change the way that you speak and act. Then begin to change the way that you operate your habits and then change your results, which ultimately means it helps to change your life. You can find that book by simply going to the website, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. It's available in English and French. You can pick up your copy today. You'll find our link in the description above or below. We're coming here live here across Instagram and also Facebook across the World Wide Web. Love to know who's here with us this morning. The early bird gets the worm. I don't care if it's Sunday. We come on every day, 7 o'clock, same time, every day. Why? Because it shows consistency. Oh, we'll get up early to go to work, but we won't get up early to work on ourselves. No. We get up early to work on ourselves, then we might get up early to go to work. Because this is work. This is our work. This is God's work. This is people deciding that, you know what, we can get better. We will get better. We'll work on ourselves. How many guys are saying this morning, you know what, I'm committed to working harder on myself than I am on the job? And just what wonders will that do for you? I'm committed to working harder on myself than I am on the job. What kind of difference would I make for you? Love to know just where you're connecting from this morning. What city, what state, what country, what city, what state, what country. We're broadcast across the World Wide Web from our virtual studios here in Atlanta or Decatur, Georgia, where it's greater. Good morning to you. Queen Alicia is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today over on Facebook. Queen Phyllis has joined us here this morning over on Facebook as well. Queen Mona is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today over on Facebook. Let's see who else is here. Our Chief Amant, thanks so much for joining us. Expressions over at Instagram as well. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Now, We got two versions or two halves of our motivation this morning. We're going to start in the Bible. This is a series that we started with Proverbs, the first series. This is the second of those series as we're going through the book of Psalms. And I was just simply convicted by God who simply said, you know what, stop talking about what people ain't doing. Like people ain't reading the Bible. He said, well, just be the person that reads the Bible and lead others into reading it as well. And I said, okay, Father, that's what I should do. That's what I'll do. So we started this thing and it's been rolling ever since. So those who are interested in learning from the Bible, which is actually one of the greatest wisdom books ever written, it's something that we can do as well, okay? Something we can do as well. Yes, he is able, absolutely. What's going on, Alicia? Committed, Greenville, South Carolina. We're going to be reading Psalms 107 and 108 today as we're getting back to the basics. Everybody put it on, so back to the basics. Getting back to the basics. Simply filling our mind and understanding that if we empty our wallet to fill our mind, and later we can empty our mind to fill our wallet. You see, knowledge is very valuable. Wisdom is more valuable. And all of these things are more valuable than money. The question is, will we exchange a few dollars to learn what we don't know so we can then get rich and build wealth? It's just that simple. Are we willing to exchange a few dollars? See, we're willing to go into debt, right, to get a piece of paper that says we have excelled in some particular industry, i.e. a degree. We're willing to go into massive debt, money that we don't have, in order to go through a 4-year, 6-year program to become a doctor or a doctorate or a master of something. But we won't even spend $25 to learn about money. Think about that for a second. We'll go into debt to get something that, can increase our income. But look at the debt that we got accrued to do that. But we won't spend $20, $25, $10 on books that can help us get rich, help us build wealth, help us be financially free for the rest of our life. Think about what I call the exchange. Everybody put in the comments, the exchange. Understanding that there's an exchange that takes place. It's also this thing called opportunity cost. You literally have to give up something for something, right? Your time for something. But we continue to choose stuff that doesn't bring us much value. None at all. We continue to choose things that, help us feel good, which is okay. Sometimes you just got to feel better. You got to turn on the music and feel better. But my goodness, do we always have to choose entertainment over education? See, I don't think that my bank account got any bigger by watching Jill Scott and Erykah Badu last night. No, it helped me feel good. It didn't help my bank account feel good. But we choose that all the time to feel good. Now I'm saying to myself, if we could come together in millions for such a time as that, well, surely we can do it for something that's going to help our wallets, that's going to help our bank accounts, that's going to help us get out of debt, that's going to help us to no longer be a financial slave. Surely, in my opinion, we should be able to do that. But let's get to the motivation, because y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't come here to hear me rant about what we could be doing, because we all know we could be doing something different. We should be doing something different. We just choose not to do something different. And that is unity. We know we should. We simply choose not to. And then we blame everybody else for the results that we get. I'm telling you, black people, we're going to find out here today, until we take full responsibility for our own circumstances, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, will change. It will forever remain the same as long as you remain the same. In order for things to change for you, you must change. If you are unwilling to change, nothing changes. Let me say that again for the people in the back. In order for things to change for you in your life, you must change. If you are unwilling to change, then nothing changes. Psalms 107, here today as we get into the book of Psalms. All right, what I consider to be a song for my soul. Psalm number 107, I'm coming out of the Message Bible. You can come out whatever version that you're coming in. I don't have no numbers. I just read. I just do what God told me to do. He said, read for the people. Psalm number 107, here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Let's read. Did I read this yesterday? No, I didn't read this yesterday. Did I read this? No, I didn't. Oh, thank God. He's so good. His love never runs out. Everybody put in the comments, so his love never runs out. His love never runs out. All you set free by God, tell the world. Tell how he freed you from oppression. Then rounded you up from all over the place, from the four winds, from the seven seas. Some of you wandered for years in the desert. How many guys in your life you realize in your life that you've been wandering for years in your own little desert? Some of you have wandered for years, decades, wandering in the desert, looking but not finding a good place to live, half starved and parched with thirst, staggering and stumbling on the brink of exhaustion. Then, in your desperate condition, you called out to God. He got you out in the nick of time. He put your feet on a wonderful road that took you straight to a good place to live. For his marvelous love, everybody put in the console, thank God. For his miracle mercy to the children he loves. He poured great thoughts of water, droughts of water down parched throats, and starved and the starved and hungry got plenty to eat. Some of you were locked in a dark cell, cruelly confined behind bars, punished for defying God's word, for turning your back on the high God's counsel. A hard sentence and your heart so heavy and not a soul in sight to help. Then you called out to God. Everybody put a console, call out to God. Then you called out to God in your desperate condition. He got you out in the nick of time. He led you out of your dark, dark cell, broke open the jail, and led you out. How many guys know? How many guys can say, you know what? Allegorically speaking, I might still be in a dark, dark cell. I might still be in bondage. And let's be honest, man, some of us are in emotional bondage. We're still tied to the relationship of the past. Some of us are in a dark, dark cell. We woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Some of us just don't feel good today for whatever reason that is. We're in a dark, dark cell, and it's typically connected to something in our past. It's not your future, and it's not your present that's holding you back. It's something that you're holding on to in the past. Someone or something that you have not forgiven just yet. It's something in your past that's holding you back from your brighter future. Will you call out to God in your desperate condition? Or are you not desperate enough yet? Here's what I found in life. Until you and I get sick and tired of being sick and tired, until you and I get desperate enough, we don't call out to God because our condition isn't desperate enough. Are you sick and tired of being in that dark cell? The darkness of your own mind. He led you out of that dark, dark cell, broke open the jail and led you out. So thank God for his marvelous love, for his miracle mercy to the children he loves. He shattered the heavy jailhouse doors. He snapped the prison bars like matchsticks. Some of you were sick because you lived a bad life. You ate all the wrong stuff. You didn't care about your body. Some of you are sick because you lived a bad life. Your body's feeling the effects of your sin. You couldn't stand the sight of food, so miserable you thought you'd be better off dead. Then you called out to God in your desperate condition. He got you out in the nick of time. Everybody put in console, the nick of time. He got you out in the nick of time. I'm sorry, everybody put in console, just in time. That's easier for you to put down, just in time. He spoke the word that healed you, that pulled you back from the brink of death. So thank God for his marvelous love, for his miracle mercy to the children he loves. Offer thanksgiving sacrifices. Tell the world that what he's done, sing it out. Some of you set sail in big ships. You put to sea to do business in faraway ports. Out at sea, you saw God in action. Saw his breathtaking waves with the ocean. With the word, he called up the wind, an ocean storm, towering waves. You shot high in the sky, then bottom dropped out. Your hearts were stuck in your throats. You were spun like a top. You reeled like a drunk. You didn't know which end was up. Then you called out to God in your desperate condition. He got you out in the nick of time. He quieted the wind down to a whisper. He put a muzzle on all the big waves. And you were so glad when the storm died down. Everybody put it down, so I'm so glad. You were so glad when the storm died down. And he led you safely back to harbor. So thank God for his marvelous love, for his miracle mercy to the children he loves. Lift high your praises when the people assemble. Shout hallelujah when the elders meet. God turned rivers into wasteland, springs of water into sun-baths mud. Luscious orchards became alkali flats because of the evil of the people who lived there. Then he changed wasteland into fresh pools of water and earth into springs of water, brought in the hungry and settled them there. They moved in. What a great place to live. They sowed the fields, they planted vineyards, they reaped a bountiful harvest. He blessed them and they prospered greatly. Their herds of cattle never decreased. But abuse and evil and trouble declined. As he heaped scorn on princes and sent them away, he gave the poor a safe place to live, treated their clans like well cared for sheep. Good people see this and are glad. Bad people are speechless, stopped in their tracks. If you are really wise, you'll think this over. It's time you appreciated God's deep love. It's time you and I appreciate God's deep love. Everybody put in the comments, so I appreciate God's love. I appreciate God's love. Now, I want you to think about this for just a second, beautiful people, because there were different spaces and places that people were in and people are in today. He says, some of you were wandering in the desert for years. Some of you were locked in a dark cell. Some of you, right, set sail out in big ships and you were out to sea to do business. You went out there in the marketplace. You tried to start your own business. And you got swallowed up by the Walmarts, the big corporations. Some of you. But he said, no matter which one of these conditions that you are in or that you may find yourself in, if you call out to God in your desperate condition, he will get you out in the nick of time. If you call out to God in your desperate condition, I want us to be honest this morning. It's Mother's Day, and we'll call out to mom when we're in that desperate condition. And mom is great, but mom ain't got nothing on God. How many of you guys are saying this morning, you know what? I'm desperate for God's love. I'm desperate for God's help. I'm desperate. As you notice, no matter the condition, no matter the situation. It wasn't until these individuals, it wasn't until you and I are desperate enough do we seem to call out for God's help. But God, all merciful, all powerful, all loving, always shows up just in time. Now, Psalm 107, guys. I thought I was going to get to Psalm 108, but it don't look like we're going to get to Psalm 108. We're going to get over into Daily Motivation for African American Success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. Let's find out what you guys talking about over here in the comments, because that was good. I might do that again tomorrow. I mean, that's one that I'm going to be repeating again today, for lunch, for dinner. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again. All right, let's see what he's talking about here in the comments, man. That's what I'm talking about. Kansas City representing Minneapolis. Back to the bases, Miss Mona. Back to the bases. Queen Gloria is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us. The Exchange. Fair exchange is no robbery. Absolutely. Good morning to you. Queen Vivian is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today over on Facebook. Back to the bases. Queen Jennifer, good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us here today on Facebook. Be willing to change. Fair exchange is not robbery. That's what I'm talking about. His love never runs out. That's right. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. His love never runs out. Thank God. That's right. Thank God for your marvelous love. Call out to God, right? Call out to God. True, just in time. Just in time. He's a just in time kind of guy. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so grateful. I'm so glad that you keep me, Lord. That's right. I appreciate God's love. I appreciate God's love. I appreciate God's love. I appreciate God's love. I'm desperate for God's love and for God's help. I'm desperate for God's love and for God's help. Psalm number 107 here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. I encourage you guys not to just have your breakfast manna this morning. God says that man should not live off of bread alone. What he's simply saying is that, hey, yeah, take care of your physical body, but you also have a spiritual body and you have a mental body that you need to take care of as well. You need to feed good stuff. That's exactly what we just did here this morning. But don't just do it one time a day. You're going to eat 3 times a day. Eat for all parts of your mind, body, and soul 3 times a day as well. I encourage you to get you some lunch manna. I encourage you to get you some dinner manna. Right? God says, man, if you will meditate on my word day and night, he promises that you'll have good success. Well, the problem is we don't be meditating on his word. And I'm telling you, just simply meditating on calling out to God in my desperate condition, he shows up. He'll get me out in the nick of time. Just meditate on that. Just think about that all day long. The many times that you've done that in the past, that he's always showed up. He's always got you out. He's always been there for you, although you and I have not always been there for him. Just meditate on that. Well, last time you were wandering in the desert, in your proverbial desert, just think about the last time you found yourself in a dark, dark cell in your mind. Just think about the last time you tried to start that business and it didn't work. Meditate. All right, we're going to transition over to Daily Motivations for African American Success. This is a book written by our brother, Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. Daily Motivations for African American Success. And Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro is one of the great authors, Black authors of our time. He's still alive today. He's still writing books to try to help Black folk help themselves. Today's title is Happy Hour. Happy Hour. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. See, we just got through talking about I'm so glad. It's another word for happy, it's glad. I'm so glad. I'm still here. Here's our quote today. It comes from Stevie Wonder, the singer and entertainer. And he says this, and I quote, "Before I ride with a drunk, I'll drive myself." A blind man saying, man, before I get in the car with a drunk, I'll drive myself. Here's our motivation of the day. Come from Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro here on the New Black Wall Street Book Club Happy Hour. Happy Hour. Let's read. Two brothers sat at a cluttered kitchen table. The house reeked of stale alcohol. Flies hovered over piles of dirty dishes. Dad was drunk on the couch. One child was perched in front of the television while the other was immersed in his schoolwork. One father, two boys. One situation, an alcoholic father and absent mother. Both boys lived on the same hell on earth with daily verbal and physical abuse and neglect. Now one brother ran with a fast crowd who helped him find an escape. Like his father, he found it in drugs and alcohol. This second generation alcoholic lived from bottle to bottle, barely finding odd jobs, earning just enough money to continue his habit. The second brother buried himself in his schoolwork. A teacher praised his efforts and consequently he excelled. He worked hard and won a scholarship to an Ivy League school. He went on to become a well-respected lawyer. One day a newspaper chose to write a profile on their local hero. The reporter asked the young man, "Is it true your father was an alcoholic?" "It's true. I had an alcoholic father. That's why I am where I am today. I decided early on I wasn't going to waste my life the way he did." Meanwhile, the first brother continued on his path of destruction. Eventually, his employer gave him the choice of losing his job or entering a rehabilitation clinic. He chose the latter. The counselor in the rehab program listened as he described his childhood. "I had an alcoholic father. That's why I am where I am today. Same home, same father, but different outcomes. Thank goodness we can control the outcomes of our lives. Thank goodness we can control the outcomes of our lives." Everybody put in the console, I can control my outcomes. I can control my outcomes. Again, same home, same father, same explanation. I am where I am today because I had an alcoholic father. Same father, same home, different outcomes. What's the difference? What's going on, brother, gentleman, G. Wood? What's the difference? What's the difference? Here's our affirmation of the day. Here's what you want to allow to take root into your subconscious. Your heart. You plant a seed of thought, and you can drive it in deeper as you want so that make sure it gets good roots. How do we do that? By repeating it over and over and over again until it brings forth a harvest into our life. Here's where you and I get to use the power that we've been given, the power of the tongue, to speak life into our life. Our affirmation of the day. We're going to do this 3 times so we can get it today. It's a little long, but it's worth it. Our affirmation of the day here today on New Black Wall Street Book Club, Happy Hour. Repeat after me. Only I am in control of my life. I will take full responsibility for my circumstances. Ooh, it's going to hurt some people this morning. Let's do it again. Our affirmation of the day here on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Repeat after me. Only I am in control of my life. I will take full responsibility for my circumstances. Wow. Affirmation of the day, we'll do it one more time, this time for the people in the back. We want to make sure that they know we mean business today, that we are absolutely taking control. We're absolutely taking full responsibility. We're no more playing the blame game. Affirmation of the day, here on New Black Wall Street Book Club. Repeat after me. This time, say it like you mean it. This time, say it with some conviction. This time, say it with your chest. Repeat after me. Only I am in control of my life. I will take full responsibility for my circumstances. I want you to think about this affirmation for today. And ask yourself in your own time, in your own space, what happens if you start to take full responsibility for your circumstances? What happens when you take full control of your life? Where will you be 5 years from now if you simply do this for the rest of your life? Take control of your life and take full responsibility for what happens in your life. How much better will you be? How much better will our community be? How much better will your family be if you take control of your life and you take full responsibility for what happens in your life? This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. You put it in a book, like the Bible. You put it in a book, like Daily Motivation for African American Success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. You put it in a book, like The Black Billionaires Club. And we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator. I want you guys to remember this. Number one, happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers that are out there. Yeah, we may not all have the fathers. Well, we got a father in heaven. But thank God we always got our mothers. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God for his marvelous love. Thank God that he always shows up. Thank God that that's more than enough. It's time to get up, to get out, and go get something. Take control of your life and take full responsibility for what happens in your life. Mr. DJ, hit the music.